Japan is preparing for a massive change. The central bank is meeting today and tomorrow. At the end of it, a major decision is expected, one that could shake up Japan's economy. And what is that decision? Japan is ending its negative interest rates. Now, bear with me for a minute. All of us know how interest rate works. Say you deposit $1,000 in your account and the bank interest is 10%. Then you get $100 as interest. That's how it normally works. But negative interest is the opposite. Let's take Japan's case. Their interest rate is minus 0.1%. So you won't be paid money for your deposits. Instead, you will have to pay the bank to keep your money there. How much? In this case, 0.1% of $1,000. That's the negative interest rate. 0.1% of $1,000 is $1. Now, I know you have questions. So let's break this down into three parts. First of all, why did Japan have this weird system? Second, why are they changing it? And three, what will it mean? Negative interest is a policy tool of central banks. They use it to fight falling prices. Now, you may be wondering, what's wrong with that? Isn't lower prices good for consumers? Well, in the short run, yes. But over long periods, no, it's not good. When prices fall, companies make less money. After all, their products are now cheaper, so they're making less money. And when companies make less money, they cut down production. Less production requires fewer jobs. So eventually, you will see layoffs. Your economy will flatline, and that's what Japan was experiencing. In the 1990s, they fell into a recession. There was a stock market and real estate crisis in Japan. Most Japanese banks reported massive losses. So afterwards, they had no money to lend. This led to a gradual fall in money supply and circulation. And the end result? Deflation, meaning prices decreased over time. Another factor is Japan's work culture. The first priority for most Japanese employees is job security, not a massive bonus, not a double-digit hike. Most of them just want security. As a result, companies hold back on raises. Again, the end result is the same. Less spending, less inflation. To combat this, Japan entered negative interest rates in the year 2016. And the idea here was quite simple. Force banks to keep lending more. Force people to spend more. Basically, do anything but park your money in bank accounts. Some European banks have also tried this back in the 2010s. But today, there is only one negative interest regime in the world, and that is Japan. So why are they changing it now? Because Japan's wish has come true. They finally have inflation. Prices rose by almost 2% in January. It was the third straight month of inflation. One reason for that is geopolitics. The wars in Ukraine and West Asia both have driven up energy prices around the world. And Japan does not have its own energy. Around 90% of their oil is from West Asia. Now, as the prices rose, so did Japan's inflation. Another reason is the record wage hike. Every year, Japanese companies negotiate with workers' unions and they decide on their salary hike. This year, it's 5.28%. That's the wage hike. It's the biggest in more than 33 years, 5.28%. All the big companies are on board this time, like Toyota Motors. They've announced their largest pay hike in 25 years. But how will this help inflation? Well, more income equals more spending. More spending equals more inflation. So Japan's central bank is now optimistic. They feel confident enough to increase the interest rate, to exit the negative interest regime. Like I said, the current rate is minus 0.1%. The plan is to increase it to 0.1%. Which brings us to the final question. What will be the impact of this move? Well, it's good news for the companies and banks. If prices rise, companies will make more money, and that money will fund corporate expansion. We're talking more jobs, more investments. It could rescue Japan from its economic rut. Until 2024, Japan was the third largest economy in the world, but in January this year, it slipped to the fourth spot. Germany took the third rank, and that too in the middle of a recession. So Tokyo needs to jumpstart its economy. Let's see if exiting the negative interest regime helps them do that.